Morning stiffness is rarely about the joints. It feels like the knees. It feels like the lower back. It feels like the neck refused to cooperate overnight. But the truth is quieter than that. Your body did not suddenly become old. It stopped recovering. Most men wake up and think something is wrong. They rotate the shoulder, they stretch the hamstrings, they blame the mattress, the weather, or age. And then the day begins. By noon, the body feels normal again, almost young. So the discomfort gets dismissed. Not serious, not urgent, just morning stiffness. But stiffness is not damage. Stiffness is information. The body is telling you what it could not finish doing while you slept. During sleep, the body runs maintenance. Fluid moves through tissues. Inflammation is cleared. Micro repairs happen in joints, tendons, and muscles. But repair requires two things: time and a nervous system that allows recovery. Modern life removes both. You fall asleep tired, not rested. The brain never fully powers down. Stress chemistry stays slightly elevated. Circulation slows. The repair cycle pauses halfway. So when you wake up, the body is still in yesterday. That is stiffness, not broken parts, unfinished restoration. Notice something important. The stiffness disappears once you move, because movement completes what sleep failed to do. Blood warms the tissue. Synovial fluid spreads through the joints. Nerves resynchronize. The body catches up to the present moment. This is why painkillers feel helpful but never solve it. They silence the signal. They don't restore the reset. Morning stiffness is a recovery problem disguised as a mobility problem. And recovery problems accumulate quietly. You don't collapse. You adapt. You shorten your stride slightly. You avoid deep bending. You rotate your torso less while driving. You stop sitting on the floor with your children. You stand up slower than you used to. No single change alarms you. But your movement vocabulary shrinks. The body keeps a record of unused ranges. Anything not used becomes expensive. Anything expensive becomes avoided. Anything avoided becomes aging. This is why two men of the same age wake up differently. One stands immediately. The other negotiates with the bed. The difference is rarely genetics. It is accumulated unfinished recovery. Late meals, late screens, irregular sleep timing, constant mental tension, no full exhale during the day. The nervous system never receives the message. It is safe to restore, so the body waits, and when morning arrives, it asks you to finish the job. That first stretch in the morning is not exercise. It is the body requesting completion. Most people respond incorrectly. They try to fix stiffness by attacking it. Hard stretching, sudden movements, aggressive workouts. But stiffness is not resistance. It is hesitation. The body is not tight because it refuses to move. It is tight because it does not trust movement yet. Trust returns gradually, through breathing, through slow range, through predictable rhythm. This is why gentle morning motion works better than intense effort. You're not forcing mobility. You're restoring permission. Your body didn't become rigid overnight. It simply stopped resetting overnight. And the longer the reset is postponed, the more the body protects itself from sudden demand. Protection feels like aging, but it is actually caution. Your body is waiting for consistent signals, regular sleep time, calm breathing before bed, light movement early in the day, repeated ranges of motion that prove safety. Do this long enough, and mornings change before anything else does. You won't notice it dramatically. You will simply stand up one day and walk immediately. No preparation, no testing step, no small negotiation with the floor. And that moment tells you something important. Your body didn't get younger. It started finishing what it was designed to do every night. Reset. Once you realize morning stiffness is unfinished recovery, the next question becomes obvious. Not the joints, not the muscles. It is protecting certainty. The human body is not designed to move only when strong. It is designed to move when safe. Safety is not the absence of weight. It is the absence of unpredictability. If the nervous system cannot predict what force will happen next, it tightens the system in advance. That tightening is what you feel every morning. When you sleep poorly, the brain does not fully switch into repair mode. It stays in monitoring mode. Heart rate remains slightly elevated. Breathing stays shallow. Muscles hold low-level tone all night. You're lying still, but the body never truly lets go. So instead of repairing tissue, the nervous system rehearses protection. By morning, the muscles are not damaged, they are guarding. Guarding from a load that already passed, guarding from a stress that is no longer present, guarding from a day that ended 8 hours ago. This is why stiffness feels worse after mental stress than physical effort. A long walk rarely creates morning stiffness. An unresolved conversation often does, because muscles recover from effort faster than the brain recovers from uncertainty. People often point to the lower back. They say, "My spine is worn, my discs are compressed, my cartilage is thinning." But scans regularly show something surprising. Many people with visible degeneration feel no pain, and many people with clean scans feel stiff every morning. So what is happening? The body restricts movement not where damage exists, but where control feels unreliable. Yeah, the brain asks one question before allowing motion. If I allow range, can I stop it safely? If the answer is unclear, it tightens the area. The lower back stiffens because it must transfer force between upper and lower body. The neck stiffens because it positions the eyes and balance system. The hips stiffen because they stabilize every step. These are command centers. Morning stiffness is not failure of structure. It is caution around responsibility. You wake up stiff. You shower, walk, maybe drive to work. After 15 minutes, the stiffness fades. This leads to a dangerous assumption. Nothing is wrong, but something did happen. Movement provided the brain evidence. Each step told the nervous system, the ground is stable, the muscles can coordinate, the range can be trusted. So the brain reduces protection. Or not permanently, temporarily. Because the next night, if recovery conditions remain poor, the brain again wakes uncertain, and protection returns. This is why stretching helps in the moment, but not in the long term. You solved confidence, not capacity. Observe where stiffness appears most. Rarely in the hands, rarely in the jaw, usually in the spine, hips and shoulders. These areas manage direction changes, turning, reaching, stepping, reacting. They prepare you for the unexpected. A life with constant time pressure trains the nervous system to expect sudden demand. Alarms, notifications, deadlines, decisions. The body adapts by staying prepared. Prepared becomes permanent tone. Permanent tone becomes stiffness. Not because you move too much, but because the body believes you might need to move suddenly at any moment. Morning is simply the first moment you notice it. People accept stiffness more easily after 40. They assume tissue has deteriorated. Age does change recovery speed, but it does not create protective tension by itself. Age reduces margin, so behaviours that were once tolerated now leave traces. Late caffeine, short sleep, irregular meals, no cool down after activity. At 25, recovery finishes anyway. At 45, unfinished tasks remain overnight. Morning stiffness is not aging. It is yesterday extending into today. Most people try to become flexible, but flexibility is granted after the brain trusts control. You do not earn range by forcing range. You earn range by demonstrating stability inside it. And slow movements outperform aggressive stretches because they give the brain time to measure coordination. When you move slowly through a range and back out safely, the nervous system updates its prediction model. Prediction improves, protection decreases. This is why gentle rotations in the morning feel strangely effective. They are not lengthening tissue, they are informing the brain. Breathing is the body's safety signal. A full exhale tells the brain, no immediate action required. But most adults rarely fully exhale. They inhale constantly, during stress, during screens, during driving. The rib cage never relaxes, the spine never unloads, the back muscles never switch off completely, so overnight the system stays ready. Morning stiffness is often the result of thousands of incomplete exhales, and not tight hamstrings, unfinished breathing cycles. It is tempting to treat stiffness as an enemy, but it is evidence your body is still monitoring risk. A body that cannot tighten when uncertain is a body prone to injury. Stiffness is caution working correctly, just applied too often. Your goal is not to eliminate protection. It is to convince the body it can choose relaxation more frequently. Consistency does that. Predictable sleep time, predictable gentle movement, predictable breathing rhythm. When life becomes rhythmical, the nervous system stops rehearsing emergencies. And when emergencies stop being rehearsed, Morning stops starting with defense. Morning stiffness is not the body refusing to move. It is the body asking, when you answer that question repeatedly, not with intensity, but with consistency, the joints do nothing special. They simply stop guarding. And the first sign of that change is not strength, not flexibility, not performance. It is the quiet disappearance of hesitation between waking up and standing up. If morning stiffness is unfinished recovery, then the night is not the real problem. The day is. Sleep does not create recovery. Sleep only allows recovery that was prepared while you were awake. Most people treat the body like a machine with an off switch. Work all day, collapse at night, reset by morning. But the nervous system does not operate on switches. It operates on continuity. What you repeatedly signal during the day becomes the condition the body maintains at night. Think about the final hour before bed. Screens, bright light, scrolling, problem solving, future planning. The brain does not know you are relaxing. It only detects engagement. Attention equals readiness. So when you lie down, the body does not transition, it carries momentum. Heart rate drops slowly. Muscle tone reduces partially. Hormones linger longer than intended. You fall asleep, but the system never fully powers down. Morning stiffness begins the evening before. Mobility is not gained during stretching sessions. It is maintained through varied movement exposure. The brain maps your usable range from daily behaviour. If most of your day happens in narrow positions, chair, steering wheel, phone, keyboard, the nervous system compresses the map. Unused angles become uncertain angles. Uncertain angles become protected angles. By night, the body reduces fluid circulation in those ranges because they appear unnecessary. Morning reveals the cost. You wake up and the body asks, "Are we using this today?" Until you prove yes, it hesitates. People often blame sitting, but sitting itself is neutral. Stillness is not harmful. Predictable stillness is. If the body experiences one posture for hours, it reduces resource allocation to variation. Joint lubrication decreases in unused directions. Muscle activation patterns simplify. Coordination narrows. Then in the morning, when you request full movement, the system delays permission, not due to weakness, due to unfamiliarity. Small posture changes during the day matter more than long exercise sessions at night. During sleep, the body redistributes fluid through connective tissue. This process depends on osmotic balance, water and electrolytes. Low hydration does not create immediate thirst overnight. It creates slower tissue glide in the morning. You feel it as friction rather than pain. People often stretch harder in response, but tissue lacking fluid resists force. Gentle movement plus hydration restores glide. Force without hydration increases guarding. The stiffness was never about tightness, it was about viscosity. Late heavy meals compete with nighttime recovery. Digestion requires circulation, temperature, and neural activity. Repair requires the same resources. The body prioritizes digestion first, repair waits. If digestion extends deep into the night, the repair window shortens. You still slept 8 hours, but only part of it was available for restoration. Morning stiffness is often a scheduling conflict inside the body, not insufficient sleep, insufficient repair time. The body resets through circadian rhythm. Morning light tells the system, activate. Evening darkness tells it, repair soon. Artificial lighting delays the signal. If the brain perceives late evening as daytime, it postpones deep recovery cycles. You fall asleep on time but enter restorative phases late. Morning arrives before the process finishes. You wake not injured, not tired, unfinished. Consistent light timing matters more than total sleep duration. Unresolved decisions linger in muscle tension. The brain keeps a background readiness for action until closure occurs. Emails left open, arguments not resolved, tasks mentally rehearsed. These are not thoughts only. They are motor preparations. The body subtly contracts to prepare response. If the mind never concludes the day, the muscles never fully release it. Morning stiffness is yesterday's preparation carried forward. A brief nightly shutdown ritual often reduces stiffness more than extra stretching. Because you ended the rehearsal. Intense late exercise elevates alertness chemistry. Temperature rises. Reaction speed increases. The body prepares for performance. If performed too close to sleep, the nervous system delays repair mode. You feel physically tired but neurologically active. Recovery starts late again. Morning stiffness appears even in active people when effort timing contradicts recovery timing. The body values rhythm over intensity. Recovery is efficient when patterns repeat. Consistent sleep time, consistent waking light, consistent movement variety. The body invests resources where it expects demand. Random schedules create cautious physiology. Cautious physiology wakes guarded. You cannot demand relaxation from a system trained for unpredictability. You demonstrate safety through repetition. Many notice less stiffness on vacations. Not because beds are better, because time pressure decreases. Meals happen earlier, light exposure aligns naturally, attention narrows to the present moment. The body interprets this as reduced threat. Repair completes. Return to irregular pace. Stiffness returns. The joints did not change. The signals did. Morning stiffness is the visible end of a 24-hour conversation with your nervous system. Every small input counts. Standing briefly after sitting, looking far instead of near, breathing slower between tasks, finishing thoughts before bed. None dramatic, all cumulative. The body does not need perfect habits. It needs coherent ones. When daily behavior stops sending mixed messages, nighttime repair stops pausing. And when repair stops pausing, morning movement stops negotiating. You will not notice the exact day it changes. You will simply realize you no longer test your back before standing. You stand, and the body agrees immediately. Because recovery did not begin at night. It began the moment your day stopped teaching the body to stay prepared for chaos. Once you understand stiffness is unfinished recovery, the goal of the morning changes. You're not trying to loosen the body. You're completing a process that paused overnight. Morning movement is not exercise, it is negotiation. The body wakes cautious, you show it evidence. Most people do one of two things after waking. They move suddenly, or they stay still too long. Both confuse the nervous system. Sudden movement feels like emergency demand. Immobility feels like continued sleep. The body responds by keeping protection active. Instead, the first movement should be small and predictable. Before standing, shift position slowly. Bend one knee, rotate the ankle, let the ribs expand with a long exhale. You're telling the brain, movement is beginning, but nothing urgent is happening. Protection reduces before your feet touch the floor. Muscles do not release first. Breathing releases first. A slow inhale through the nose, followed by a longer exhale, reduces baseline muscle tone. Not psychologically, mechanically. The diaphragm descends, the spine decompresses slightly. Joint pressure redistributes. After 3 or 4 slow cycles, ranges that felt restricted begin to move. Stretching at this stage works better because the nervous system already trusts the position. Without breathing, stretching is negotiation under tension. With breathing, stretching is confirmation. The body accepts repetition faster than force. Small circles of the shoulders, pelvic tilts, slow turning of the head. Each movement says the range is controlled, the speed is known, the outcome is predictable. After several repetitions, the brain stops guarding the direction. Range increases without pushing. People often think they became more flexible in minutes. They did not lengthen tissue, they updated permission. The moment of standing is critical. If you stand quickly while the system is uncertain, the back and hips brace automatically. This bracing can last an hour. Instead, sit first. Let the feet feel pressure. Shift weight gently side to side, then stand smoothly. The difference is subtle but significant. You move from horizontal to vertical without triggering protective reflexes. The body now interprets walking as continuation, not demand. Warmth signals circulation readiness. A splash of warm water on the face or a brief warm shower reduces tone in surrounding muscles. It does not heal tissue. It informs the nervous system that blood flow is adequate. The body releases guarding when it detects resources available. This is why warmth feels relieving even before movement. The first 5 minutes of walking finish what sleep could not. Alternating steps coordinate left and right sides. Arm swing restores spinal rhythm. Breathing synchronizes naturally with motion. After several minutes, the nervous system recognizes stable patterns. Guarding dissolves. If mornings are rushed and walking skipped, the body carries partial protection into the day. Later movement must overcome it. Early gentle walking prevents the accumulation. Mild discomfort while moving in the morning does not mean damage. It means the brain has not updated prediction yet. Move slightly slower, not less. Avoid sudden end ranges, but continue controlled motion. Stopping completely confirms uncertainty. Gradual motion resolves it. The goal is reassurance, not avoidance. 5 minutes daily changes mornings more than 30 minutes occasionally. The nervous system learns expectation. When the body predicts gentle movement after waking, it prepares differently overnight. Protection decreases even before you move. Eventually you wake with less stiffness, because the brain trusts what will follow. A good morning is not measured by energy level. It is measured by how little negotiation occurs between intention and movement. You decide to stand, and stand immediately. You turn your head, and it turns without preparation. Nothing dramatic improved. The body simply finished its reset before you noticed it needed one. Morning stiffness fades quietly. Not because you fought it, but because you completed the conversation your body has been asking for every day. Predictability, gentleness, repetition. Give those first, and movement returns without argument. After a while, something interesting happens. You follow the gentle morning reset. You breathe slower before standing. You move more during the day. And yet, some mornings the stiffness still returns. Not randomly, not because the body failed, because life changed speed. Morning stiffness is rarely just physical feedback. It is often the earliest indicator that your pace has exceeded your recovery. The mind counts effort in tasks completed. Meetings finished, problems solved, distance walked, weights lifted. The body counts effort in interruptions. How often breathing changed suddenly. How often attention jumped. How often muscles prepared for reaction. 2 days can look identical on a calendar and feel completely different in the body. A quiet, focused day leaves little stiffness. A fragmented day leaves tension overnight. Not because of work amount, because of unpredictability. Every time you shift attention abruptly, the nervous system prepares for action. Tiny contractions occur in the neck and back, barely noticeable, but frequent. Hundreds of micro-preparations during the day create a baseline readiness that never turns off. By night, the body no longer distinguishes between real demand and anticipated demand, so it sleeps guarded. Morning stiffness becomes the physical residue of a day lived at reaction speed. When the brain handles multiple streams of input, it avoids deep recovery states. Even rest periods remain alert. Checking messages while eating, listening while planning, scrolling while resting. The body stays half engaged. Repair requires full disengagement, even briefly. Without it, restoration never fully begins. Only pauses repeatedly. Morning stiffness is the continuation of partial engagement. Unexpressed reactions are stored as preparation, holding back frustration, postponing decisions, suppressing urgency. The body maintains readiness for the action that never happened. Muscles do not understand social timing, they only understand completion. When reactions remain unfinished, tone persists. The next morning feels heavy because yesterday never concluded physically. People often say, "Today I suddenly feel old," but age does not fluctuate daily. Load does. A series of fast days compress recovery windows. The body accumulates incomplete cycles. Eventually, one morning reveals the backlog. Stiffness is not deterioration. It is accounting. The body presenting a balance sheet of unfinished restoration. Many try to recover by doing nothing. But passive rest with mental engagement keeps readiness active. True rest contains one element: undivided attention. Walking without input, eating without screens, breathing without planning. Moments where the nervous system detects no upcoming demand. Even short periods reset tone more effectively than long distracted breaks. Reduce daily urgency slightly, and mornings improve within days. Not because tissues healed, but because protection became unnecessary. The nervous system constantly predicts tomorrow from today's pattern. Slow the pattern, and tomorrow begins calmer. This is why vacations reduce stiffness rapidly, and why returning to haste restores it just as fast. Instead of treating stiffness as a problem, treat it as calibration. More stiffness than usual means yesterday exceeded sustainable pace. Less stiffness means recovery matched demand. No device needed, no measurement required. Your body reports honestly every morning. You do not need to remove responsibility. You adjust transitions. Pause before starting the car. Exhale after finishing a task. Walk briefly between rolls. Small separations close physiological loops. When loops close during the day, they do not reopen overnight. Morning then becomes continuation, not recovery. Stiffness is not asking you to stop living actively. It is asking you to live sequentially instead of simultaneously. One action completed before the next begins. When the body experiences completion repeatedly, it stops preparing endlessly. And when preparation stops filling the night, you wake without the sensation that time accelerated inside your joints. Nothing changed about age, only the pace finally matched what recovery could finish. There is a point where you stop thinking about stiffness, not because you solved a problem, because the problem stopped introducing itself. You wake up, sit up, and stand, without testing anything first. No careful step, no small rotation to check if the back agrees, no mental calculation before bending. Movement becomes ordinary again, and that ordinariness is the real sign of recovery. The body was never asking for extreme effort. It was asking for completion. Completion of breathing cycles, completion of movement ranges, completion of the day's tension before sleep. When those close regularly, the night has nothing left to negotiate. Repair finishes quietly. You don't feel younger. You feel uninterrupted. The difference matters. Feeling younger is temporary. Feeling uninterrupted is stable. Your energy no longer starts behind schedule. Your attention does not wait for your body to catch up. The morning belongs to the present moment, not to yesterday's leftovers. This is why the change feels subtle. No dramatic breakthrough. No sudden flexibility. Only the disappearance of hesitation. You bend to tie your shoes without preparing your lower back. You turn your head while driving without moving your whole torso. You sit on the floor and stand again without planning the exit. Nothing impressive, everything important. Because daily life happens in small motions, and when those motions stop demanding caution, your day starts already in motion, instead of warming up to it. Morning stiffness was never about joints. It was the body asking, did we finish yesterday? When the answer becomes yes often enough, the question stops appearing. You do not win against age. You cooperate with recovery, and cooperation creates quiet strength. Strength that does not need testing each morning. If you notice tomorrow's first movement is easier, don't search for the exact habit that fixed it. Just repeat what allowed the body to complete its work. Breathe before you rush. Move before you sit too long. Let the day end before sleep begins. Small closures, repeated daily, that is enough. And if nothing changes immediately, do not force improvement. Give the body consistency, not intensity. Over time, mornings become simple again, and simplicity is the sign the system trusts you. Keep going gently,